the mocked purchase. March 30th, 1867. The United States buys Alaska from Russia for $7.2 million, roughly 2 cents per acre. The American public is furious. Newspapers call it Seward's folly, after Secretary of State William Seward, who negotiated the deal. Seward's icebox, Andrew Johnson's polar bear garden. Political cartoons mock the purchase as a frozen wasteland, useless and expensive. Critics demand investigations. Some call it the worst deal in American history. Russia, meanwhile, is thrilled. Alaska is difficult to defend, far from Moscow, and under threat from British expansion in Canada. Selling it to the United States removes a strategic liability and brings in much-needed cash after the Crimean War. From Russia's perspective, they're getting rid of a burden. Psychologists call this temporal myopia, the inability to see long-term value when short-term costs are high. The American public saw $7.2 million spent on ice. They didn't see resources. They didn't see strategic positioning. They didn't see the future. 1896, gold is discovered in the Klondike, just across the Alaskan border. The gold rush begins. Prospectors flood into Alaska. Towns spring up overnight. Suddenly, Seward's folly is looking like Seward's genius. 1968, oil is discovered at Prudhoe Bay, one of the largest oil fields in North America. Alaska becomes an energy powerhouse. To date, Alaska has generated over $200 billion in oil revenue alone, but the strategic value is even greater. The Alaska purchase wasn't a mistake. The mistake was mocking it. Your brain says value is obvious. History says value is contextual, and sometimes you're too early to see it. What's more unsettling? That the American public was completely wrong about Alaska's worth, or that they were almost right. If gold and oil had never been discovered, Seward's legacy would be very different. The Beheaded Diplomats. The Khwarezmian Empire made one fatal mistake in 1218. They killed Genghis Khan's ambassadors. Picture this. A trade caravan arrives at the border city of Otrar. Hundreds of Mongol merchants carrying silk, jade, and silver. They come in peace, bearing gifts and proposals for commercial alliance. The governor of Otrar, Inalchuk, doesn't see opportunity. He sees foreigners. He accuses them of espionage, seizes their goods, and executes the entire delegation. 450 men butchered at the border. Genghis Khan hears the news. He doesn't retaliate immediately. Instead, he sends 3 ambassadors, 2 Mongols and 1 Muslim, to Shah Muhammad II, demanding justice and the surrender of Governor Inalchuk. It's a diplomatic courtesy, a final chance. The Shah's response? He beheads the Muslim ambassador and burns the beards off the other 2 before sending them back. Science says pride is a survival mechanism gone wrong. Your brain protecting status even when it guarantees destruction. Researchers call it costly signaling, the irrational need to demonstrate strength even at catastrophic expense. The Shah wanted to show he wouldn't bow to nomadic horsemen from the steppes. He got his wish. Genghis Khan mobilized 200,000 warriors. The Mongol invasion of the Khwarezmian Empire wasn't just war, it was systematic erasure. City after city fell. Samarkand, with its 100,000 defenders, lasted 5 days. Bukhara burned. Nishapur was leveled so completely that cats and dogs were hunted down and killed to ensure no living thing remained. The Shah fled, dying on an island in the Caspian Sea, broken and alone. His empire, which stretched from the Caspian to the Indus River, ceased to exist within 2 years. The body count? Conservative estimates put it at 15 million dead, roughly 11% of the world's population at the time. The Mongols didn't stop there. This campaign became the blueprint for their conquests across Eurasia, reaching into Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and China. The beheading of those 3 diplomats didn't just end an empire. It reshaped the entire geopolitical landscape of the medieval world. Your brain says defend your honor at all costs. History says sometimes the cost is everything. What's more terrifying? That the Shah knew the risk and chose pride anyway, or that in his position you might have done this. The press conference Blunder, November 9, 1989, East Berlin. Günter Schabowski, a mid-level Communist Party official, stands before a room full of journalists. He's been handed a note about new travel regulations. East Germans will be allowed to cross into West Berlin, but the policy is supposed to take effect gradually with proper controls. Shabovsky hasn't read the note carefully. He's tired, distracted. A reporter asks, "When does this take effect?" Shabovsky shuffles his papers, squints, then delivers the 6 words that ended the Cold War. "As far as I know, immediately, without delay." Researchers call it an information cascade, when a single piece of misinformation spreads faster than corrections can catch it. The human brain is wired to trust authority figures, especially in moments of confusion. Shabovsky wasn't trying to open the floodgates. He just didn't know what he was reading. Within hours, thousands of East Berliners swarm the checkpoints. The guards have no orders, no protocol. They call their superiors. No one knows what to do. The crowds grow larger, more insistent. The guards, outnumbered and confused, make a choice: let them through or open fire. At 11:30 p.m., the Bornholmer Strasse checkpoint opens. The flood becomes a torrent. People pour through. West Berliners rush to meet them. Champagne flows. Strangers embrace. The Berlin Wall, 28 years, 96 miles of concrete, 302 watchtowers, over 140 deaths, begins to crumble. Not from bombs or tanks, from a bureaucrat's confused answer at a press conference. By October 1990, Germany is reunified. The Soviet Union, watching its satellite states collapse one by one, dissolves by 1991. The Cold War, which defined half a century of global politics, nuclear standoffs, and ideological warfare, ends not with a bang but with a bumbling press briefing. Margaret Hogan, a political scientist, studied the fall of the Berlin Wall for decades. She concluded that empires don't fall from external force, they collapse from internal confusion. The moment the people stop believing in the system stops existing. The Wrong Turn. June 28, 1914, Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand survives an assassination attempt. A grenade bounces off his car during a motorcade. It explodes behind him, wounding his officers but leaving him unharmed. He's furious, shaken, but alive. The day should end there. Instead, he decides to visit the injured officers in the hospital. Noble, fatal. His driver, Leopold Loika, takes a wrong turn. He heads down Franz Josef Street when he should have taken the Appel Quay. The moment he realizes the mistake, he stops the car to reverse. Right there, at that precise corner, in front of a delicatessen, where 19-year-old Gavrilo Princip is standing. Princip is one of the failed assassins from earlier. He's given up. He's grabbing a sandwich, contemplating escape, when the Archduke's car stops 3 feet in front of him. He doesn't hesitate. He pulls out his FN Model 1910 pistol and fires twice. One bullet hits the Archduke in the neck. The other strikes his wife, Sophie, in the abdomen. Both die within the hour.